Hey everybody, just gonna give a small little lesson on some dog grooming. Now you can go onto YouTube, there's bazillions of videos on there, but I have noticed that some of them haven't really pointed out things to be really careful of, which I'm not doing grooming anymore, but I am suggesting that some of my customers can either borrow my clippers or they can buy them themselves. Now I have an Andis 2-speed. I think I've had this one for 30 years. So I would suggest a really good professional grooming pair of clippers. 3, 4, 5 grooms, depending on what your groomer charges, and they're paid for. Now, from there, basically 3 different blades that I would suggest that you have. Number one, excuse me, everybody needs to have a 10 blade. The teeth are very close together, and this is where you would use it around the ears, under the eyes, under the armpits, because there is a little piece of skin back there that if you're using, this is my 7, and the teeth are very far apart. So if you go at the wrong angle, the skin can go between. Also with the ear, it could, if you were too close and you went up, it can actually go into the ear. Now it's not going to take the whole ear off, but it is going to nick in quite a bit. So you have to be careful with this. But the 7 blade is really what I use most of. If a dog is thick coated or matted, it's the one blade that you'll need. Now, Pippa gets special treatment because her owner likes it left a little bit long. So in that case, I use, this is a 3F. Now the only problem with this blade is that if the dog is matted anywhere, this blade is going to stop. Blades don't go through matted hair, they have to go underneath. So the more tightly it's matted, the longer it might take to just inch away underneath. So we'll start with the 10. So now every clip is different, so you can go on and see what you want, but basically I think most people are just trying to keep their dog tidy. So on a Yorkie, the top third part of the ear is actually shaved off. So I'm going with the ear, and I'm careful not to go near the side, so it's just the flat of the ear, like that. Now that's the number 10 blade. So I'll just do the other ear for you. And a little bit on the inside. Now, the other spot for this is often under the armpits. Yeah, and I can already feel it on her. It is quite matted. So I will just simply go with my 10 under the arm. Now the 10's going to take it really short. So there are some dogs that I groom with a 10, specifically because they have a skin problem. But that's going to leave the dog, and especially if it has a really short hair coat, almost bald. But some of them, if they're extremely matted, you may have to use the 10. So 10 on the ears, 10 under the armpits. Now whether it's a male or female, underneath here with her, she's got matting all around her little petunia parts here. So I'm just going to carefully go down the one side like that. And you feel free to use the 10 on a male under the tummy area, that's fine. And the other place, I don't think Pippa's too embarrassed about this, but your 10 blade, always just a little clean up here. Because again, that 7 with the sharp teeth, you don't want to jam that into the wrong spot. So I've done what I needed to do with the 10, basically. Now I just have to go under here And same with a male, whether he's neutered or not, use the 10 blade. It's much safer. You can't do a lot of damage with it. And again, under the armpit. And sometimes it's always matted tight under the armpit, so sometimes I'm going at different angles. I can feel it. Okay, turn pips. There we go. Atta girl. Sometimes I'll just go under and just give it a feel. Like I say, the 10 blade is pretty safe. Now, for starting the rest of the grooming, like I said, on her, I'm going to use the number 3. It leaves the hair fairly long. It's quite a wide blade, but if your dog is matted, you have to be able to literally go through with a comb. If the comb won't go through right from the skin out, then the blade's not going to go through either. So, I will take this off. This is just really for... I always put this on because it will take 1 second for you to turn around and grab another blade and your dog has flung itself off the table and it's in at the vet's. So, the starting point usually is here. And basically you're just going to follow the line. And you're going to follow down the sides. And I'm just, now the blade goes flat against the body. You're not digging in like this or keeping it up too much. So I go down the sides. Now sometimes underneath they might be a little bit matted, so I might go to my 7 there. And just underneath. Okay, so... and then we'll just go back to the head. And normally what I'll do is I'll go around, just be careful of the ears. And I'm going back behind the ears, basically just around. I've basically just gone around the head. And across. So underneath, you can see it's pretty much done. Now I'll follow this down. Okay, so after that, with the Yorkies, I will just go to scissoring and just, well, I'll show you because I'm not going to spend time doing it, but I will just scissor all of this off so it looks more like that. And you can just practice it. It's not going to be perfect the first time. As for the eyes, I hate using scissors because if a dog moves too fast, they can do a little bit more damage than the 10. So if your dog will hold still and you're better scissoring, then go ahead. But she's pretty good. So I'm just going to give a little quick, now you got to be careful with this because the blade has to turn up. Now they usually close their eyes. And sometimes if you've got, you know, some built up eye matter, and if it is, if that eye matter is really crusty, the only thing you can do is take a damp cloth and get it off. The clippers are not going to go through that. Other than that, it's basically just going down the rest of the dog with the shape of the body. Now, once I've done, come here, Pippa. Once I've done the legs, well, let me just think. I can, when it comes to the feet, I'll normally shave down to about, you know, just as far as I can. Now, you got to really be careful. What I do is sometimes I'll find she's got, do you have a dew claw there? Well, sometimes I don't think she does, but I will find the dew claw. I will put my finger on it, and sometimes on the legs, you might, if hers are a bit matted. So what I'm going to have to do here is I'm taking the 7. It leaves it a little bit shorter, but what I can do is I can kind of go down. I'm skimming. I'm not really going right down where the skin is. I'm actually staying a little bit on top because this is a bit matted, and I know my number 3's not really going to do it on the legs. So I've just basically shaped it up, taken off all the long stuff. Now once I've got most of this off, what I'll do is I will give her a bath, blow dry, fluff it up, and that way anything that's still hanging around, you're gonna catch it. So when it comes to the feet, basically I just scissor. So I lent the clippers out to a friend. Normally I can get the dog done in about 45 minutes. She said it took her over 2 hours, but it's just a matter of practice. So this leg will be, and I can finish off this leg after the bath and she's brushed out. Sometimes I'll just scissor them. Just go down, and you're just sort of keeping the same length all around. And eventually, just from brushing and doing it, you'll get it right. Now, the other thing I just wanted to talk about was if you have, and I have a few dogs that they're better with a muzzle on. They seem to sense that they can't do anything. She doesn't need a muzzle, but these ones are fantastic. So it just goes on like that and ties up behind. And then you've got a little bit more control. The other thing too is, I've had some people say they're really terrified to cut the nails. The dog is nipping at them, won't hold still. So there is a way to restrain a dog, and some of my customers have to come in and restrain the dog for me. Otherwise, there's no getting the nails done. So it's harder when they're small, but basically you put one hand under here. This one comes around here. So as the owner is doing this, you can pick up the paw, and I always say to them, the louder they squeal, the more they fight, you just keep holding tighter and tighter. See, I can lift her head up like that, so if I was the one that was cutting her nails, nobody's gonna get bitten. Luckily, she's a very good dog. What else? I have my little list here. Scissor feet, 10 years. I think I've pretty much covered it. Like I said, you're best to find just a really good quality pair of clippers. Sometimes I think the blades are anywhere from $30 to $45 each. You probably need, always make sure you get a 10. Sometimes that comes with the clipper. And I would say a 7F, maybe a 7. I have a variety of blades, but you don't need that. So I think that's about all. I will continue to make her look beautiful, and we can see her after it's all done. Bye for now. Right?